capable of flight.
Today it's our privilege to share with you some of the extraordinary adaptations of both parrots and birds of prey and discover one of the changes to make in your life.
And to play a part in helping all living things not just survive but thrive. Hi, my name's Katrina.
And I'm Jason, and soaring above the flight arenas today is River the black kite. Now black kites are birds of prey, but what is a bird of prey? Put pretty simply, a bird of prey can be any bird that feeds on other animals. So it could be a kookaburra, magpie, butcherbird, pelican, penguin, the list goes on and on. But River here is a specialised bird of prey we call a raptor or raptorial bird. And all raptors have a few distinct features. They all have a hooked, meat-tearing beak, they have sharp claws on their toes we call talons, and very powerful feet which they use to catch and kill their prey. And black kites, like River here, are amazing aerial hunters. They're happy to hunt birds and insects in the air, just like River's going to show us here today, just like that. They'll also hunt on the ground as well. So they'll take things like small mammals and reptiles which scurry along the ground, just like that. Really good example of that there.
Yeah.
Now you will notice when River catches his food, he always uses his feet to catch his food. What I'd like you to do for me today is see if you can pick what he does with that food once he catches it. Now it can be really quick, so you need to keep your eyes on him. Are you all ready? Alright, here we go, River. So always use his feet to catch his food, just like that. Hopefully you notice exactly what he did there, really quickly. Caught it in his feet, passed it into his beak, and he ate it as he's flying around. It's what we call feeding on the wing. Now they've learned to do that because it's a very energy efficient way of feeding. It means they don't have to land and take off every single time they catch a small piece of food. Now you know what to look for. You should be able to pick a little bit easier the next time he does it. Now when it comes to adapting to an ever-changing world, black kites have been spectacularly successful. So successful, in fact, they've learned to live alongside people and take advantage of our habits and our behaviours. And the further north you go in Australia, the more likely it is you're going to see large numbers of black kites hanging around places like abattoirs, fishing ports, rubbish dumps, sometimes even campgrounds and school grounds, places where they can find any little meat scraps that have been left behind for them. Now River here has done a great job today. He's caught all of them so far. So what I'm going to do is give him one last catch, but I'm going to make it nice and hard for him so he can show off and show you how good he can actually be. What I would like you all to do for me is if he does try and catch this one, I guess you give him a really big round of applause just to let him know we've enjoyed his time out here. He's more than happy to do it again. All right, River, here we go. Last one. Up and over the top. Up you go. Away too easy. That's a nice easy run. We're going to get River to head off home for us. I think he's going to do one last lap and then head back. Do you want to head home for me, please? Just like that. Great job, River. Well done. Now, yeah, thank you. Please feel free to report whenever you'd like to. That's no problem. Now, some of you might know that Australia is known as the land of the parrots, and it's pretty easy to see why. We actually have 56 different species of parrots that live here in Australia. Rosellas, lorikeets, cockatiels, budgerigars, cockatoos, they all form part of the parrot family. Have a look at this one as he makes an eye-catching entrance with that soft yellow underneath his wings. But of course,
so
have a look at that beautiful yellow crest. That's where these birds get the name from. This is a sulphur-crested cockatoo. This one's name is Quasi. Now, sulphur-crested cockatoos are another one of the birds that have made a real success out of sharing the environment with people. Very intelligent and popular birds. They're often seen in large, noisy, social flocks. A really familiar sight in the Australian landscape. I'm sure most of you have seen them. If you haven't, you probably will. You can see them in parks, gardens, golf courses, sometimes even in our busy city streets. But cockatoos like Quasi here, they can live longer than most of us, up to 100 years. Just think about the changes they've seen in the environment in the last 100 years. Imagine the changes they're going to see in the environment in the next 100 years. But can you imagine Australia without them? Now, it is vital for all animals to be able to adapt their ways to be able to survive out there in the wild. The first two birds are really good examples of animals that have been able to adapt their ways to live alongside people, which I think is a pretty amazing thing in itself. The next bird is a little bit different though. The next bird is one of our rarer birds here in Australia. It's actually our third largest raptor. Normally it would be found up through the hot, dry environments of Central Australia. This one here is a black-breasted buzzard. And to make that even harder on me, this black-breasted buzzard's name is Bernice, the black-breasted buzzard. Not the easiest thing to say over and over again. Now, while Bernice is out here, I'm hoping that she's going to come down a little bit closer for us. And we might get a good look at how good she is on the ground. They're very comfortable and very coordinated on the ground. One of the reasons for that is because these black-breasted buzzards are one of the few rappers in Australia that actually do some of their hunting on the ground. They're really well known as nest robbers. And actually, oh, you missed, girl. How about you hop down on the ground now? That would make it much easier for you. There we go. Well done, Bernice. Now, as I said, you'll see she's very coordinated and comfortable while she's on the ground. One of the...
They do listen.
Some of the eggs that they hunt are the eggs of our largest bird of all here in Australia. That's the emus. Now, hopefully we'll have a chance to see the emus, and you've worked out that emus are really big birds. Now, because emus are really big birds, they lay really big eggs. In fact, the egg of an emu is far too big for a bird like Bernice to be able to pick that egg up in their feet or in their beak to try and break them open in any way. So they've had to develop this really special behaviour to get into emu eggs. And I'm hoping that Bernice here is going to be able to show us exactly how to break open an emu egg, because I just happen to have one in my pocket. Now, it's alright, this one's not a real emu egg. This one's made of plaster, but it's the same size as a real emu egg. Now, Bernice actually knows she can't use her feet or her beak to get into that egg. She also knows I've got a really special tool here to help her break that emu egg open. That really special tool is called a rock. So all it is, I'm going to place the rock on the ground. Bernice will do the rest. She picks the rock up, carries it over to the egg, lines it up, and first go. Great shot. Normally takes her 4 or 5 attempts. Great shot today, well done. You can let the rest of it go. You can let the egg go now, girl. Now, some of you might think that's a little bit of a... Really? Some of you might think that's a little bit of a trick that we taught Bernice, but believe it or not, it's not a trick. It's called an instinct or a natural adaptive skill. Black-breasted buzzards just know how to do it. They don't learn it from their parents. We don't have to teach them how to do it. They just know how to do it the very first time they ever see an emu egg. So it's a pretty amazing thing because of that. It's also pretty interesting. There's only one other bird in the whole world that uses that same technique to get into a food source. It's a bird found in northern Africa. It's called the Egyptian vulture, and it breaks open ostrich eggs in exactly the same way. But I think you'll all agree with me today, Bernice here has done a fantastic job for us.
So the first few birds you've seen have made some great adaptations to help them survive, and so has our next species. Not that one, or that one, or that one. These ones are found in tropical northern Queensland around the Cape York Peninsula, and this parrot uses its colour to help it survive. How would a bird's colour help it survive out there in the wild? Well, with these birds, the males and the females are really different in colour, and they play very different roles. So let's meet Les. Les here is a male eclectus parrot. As he's flying, check out the bright colour underneath his wings. See if we can get a little bit closer. Yeah, that's more like it. He's got a nice orange beak. And, good job, buddy. Les here is mainly green and blue up top. The female eclectus parrots are red and blue with a black beak. And while they spend most of their time creating and then protecting their nesting hollows, it's the males like Les who have the job of looking for food, for themselves and for their mate. Up in the treetops where they forage amongst the bright green leaves and the fruits and flowers, the males camouflage really well, and that provides them with great protection against predator animals like birds of prey. And the females blend in amongst the shadows where they spend most of their time. So the colour of eclectus parrots is a, great job Les, it's a terrific survival strategy for them, and they make a stunning contribution to our rainforests up north. It is great to see some birds are doing really well. This one here is a red-tailed black cockatoo, and these birds are facing some challenges out there in the wild, as is the pink one, the Major Mitchell cockatoo. These birds rely on very old, large trees because they need the hollows in those to use for their shelter and their nesting. And some nesting hollows can take up to 200 years to form. Right, when he lands again up there in just a second, yeah, look at that crest. It's showing off today. As deforestation continues and we lose our old growth forests, that means we are losing habitat for beautiful birds like these ones. The good news is you can make a difference, and sometimes it just comes down to changing a habit. Changing a habit can be hard, but it can be worth the effort. We think these birds are really worth it, don't you? Yeah. All right, I'm just going to see if I can encourage our Major Mitchell cockatoo to head off, because next up we're looking at a bird of prey. I don't want a bird of prey meeting up with a parrot out here. Having a good old time. Chewing up in his tree, making his little tree hollow. Buddy, do you want to head off this way? No, that was him saying no thanks. Alright, what we'll do, let's leave him up there for a little minute then. And I was talking about that habit you can change to help out birds. Pretty enthusiastic when I said, would you do something? So let's bring our gorgeous Galah out here. She has a message for you. And if you've got a mobile phone, make sure you have it out ready for this next part of the show.